So we got the old bumper off, which was pretty well trashed. The car came with this center section, and my friend Mike over at Smith's had these two side section pieces, so we'll be replacing that. But the reason we took the bumper off is because we had some issues under here with the frame. So I had Jade template. We made these little caps to go over here where the rear springs attached to the frame. It was pretty rusty and split out, so we were gonna weld those in, but unfortunately we are out of welding gas, so we gotta wait till Monday to get those welded in. So while we're waiting to get that finished, we decided we would start the front disc brake conversion. So Jade is over here getting the bearings out, washers out. We're gonna get these old drums out, get all this cleaned up, and start throwing our pieces together. Push it in, and turn the centerpiece while holding the washer. And see, there's a little slot, so you gotta turn the end of that bolt. And then, as you can tell by the look of this, I don't know how he thought these brakes were working. But there's no way that that was pumping fluid through it. Alright, so there's this nut, so we gotta get that cotter pin out, and then there's another one on the other side. Those hold steering arm, whatever you want to call it, goes to the tie rod, so we got to get those off. Once those come off and we get this brake line free and off, this backing plate off, clean this up and put the new brake parts on. Alright, this is the SSBC front disc conversion kit for a 57 Chevy. This is supposed to fit under 14-inch rims. We had to do a couple modifications with it, open up a few holes, get all the brackets to fit, but we're going to see up a 14-inch stock rim actually fits over this stuff. So, cross your fingers. Where's the holes? Well, no. I think what we'll actually end up doing is spacing these rims out a little bit, because we really want to use these rims in those caps. So I'm going to order a couple of aluminum bolt-on spacers. We'll bring this out and then it'll work, but yeah. Alright, so we went and dug through the good old parts bin upstairs and put a bunch of pieces together. So we now have a booster and a dual master cylinder with an adjustable proportioning valve for the rear brake lines. Everything is attached to the master and the booster, and it's attached to the pedal. We got great pedal movement. So next time you see us, we will actually run the lines from these proportioning valves and junctions down to the front rear brakes, lead them up, and that is one more thing off the checklist.
Nice.
Alright, so we're going to redo the drum brakes in the back. The actual drum itself on the inside looks pretty good, but the pads, everything else just kind of completely fell apart. So it started when we went to pull the bleeder on the back, and that snapped off, of course, which anyone who's worked on drum brakes knows. There's a pretty damn good 99% chance that bleeder isn't going to come loose. But we soaked it, heated it, did everything, and then finally got the drums off and realized the whole inside was just garbage anyway. So we got new pads, new wheel cylinders.
I guess.
Oh, they're on there tight. So, we're gonna need a socket. You should never have valve covers on there that tight. That's ridiculous.
Thank you. Yeah, I elbowed the thing.
Look down here. There's a mark on it. Right behind the main pulley. See the little mark right there?
Oh, yeah.
That's the top dead center mark. This hole here is top dead center.
So it's there right now.
So it's there. So now that we know that you don't get it 180 out and it's not on the exhaust and the intake stroke, both of these should have no pressure on them. Now we know that's right where number one is, at top dead center, ready for spark. So this is number one. We want that dot to point to number one that way. All right. This already has the brass gear on it, so you don't want steel on steel. I'm assuming this has a steel camshaft, so you don't want steel on steel. It'll eat itself up. You'd rather this eat up than the cam and the motor. So this is a softer metal. Inside there, there's a little slot that has to go into. And that runs the oil pump. So when this is spinning, it pumps oil.
Lose the screwdriver. I don't know if when the battery's not there, you just have a tray for tools. You have it turned right?
Once I get close.
Still off.
That's right. I can do that. That's pretty close to pointing at one. That's close enough for me.
Yep. It's almost dead on pointing at one, actually.
Let's see where the notch is over here. This one. It's actually another one. Engine bay pretty well underway. We were hoping to use this MSD setup with the coil and the MSD box, but the wires are just not going to work with these headers. There's all kinds of other issues, extra wiring, all of that, so we are just going to pull this out. I happen to have a HEI distributor and a set of wires sitting around, so we're going to pop that in. Then all we got to do is hook power up to it. So we are going to get to that, get the rest of the hoses and fluids and stuff in this thing and see if she'll run. Did it hit you?
What?
Did it hit you?
No, I put my hand up.
She just fired up, sat and idled. Jade did a magnificent job rebuilding the carburetor on this thing. The Edelbrock, the intake, valve covers, everything look really nice. They sound nice. I don't hear any ticking, banging, and there isn't a hint of black or white smoke coming out the back. All right, so show me your mess and tell me what you got going on here.
So I just cut pretty much a bolt. I don't know where the head is. It's somewhere around here. Oh, there it is. Pieces of this off to remake these on the lights and get them, measure them so they're all the same height above. And now I'm trying to sand into this by wrapping sandpaper around a random little part that I found that fits the diameter.
Gotcha. Just a hair better shape than the other ones, but
Much nicer.
yeah.
So
Going for patina, not perfect, but we want to get the really, really nasty, junky, pitted stuff off and replace it with some stuff that might be a little cloudy and have some scratches in that end, but not be damaged and work. So it'll match the rest of the car. We got the inside done. It's all seam sealed, ready to go. We're gonna throw some satin paint over the bare metal, make sure it's good and sealed up before we put any sound deadener down in there.
Gotta Austin power is a little bit